This is making me want fish sticks. Hello, people of the collective of humans watching YouTube videos. Welcome to this. Today, I am going to attempt to teach myself how to tune a standalone ECU on my 94 Ford Ranger 4x4, which was the actual truck that I learned how to drive on. If you're new and you missed that whole shibbackle, I just made that word up above my head is a link to the playlist on the Ranger. This is a timing gun. Kind of looks like a robotic alien eye. That's from a movie of some sort, I swear. Going down. Heard the little mini tuning lesson I got the other day from the YouTuber Jimmy Oaks. If you don't know who he is, I'll link his YouTube channel down below. First thing I need to do is verify that the base timing is set and correct on this. Now, my 94 Ranger with the 4-liter OHV V6 has what's called EDIS. It stands for Electronic Distributorless Ignition System. That's number 1 cylinder right here. Yeah, so the fan shroud and this intake tube are gonna make this pretty difficult. This is gonna be tough. All right. This is a timing mark. This is not gonna be easy. Well, there's a crank pulley right there. That's a pretty Tiffany blue color, so I'm gonna put a contrasting orange mark. Plug socket. I need to organize my toolbox. There's plug wire out. I have salad in my teeth, so I'm not gonna look at the camera. I'll stick this flathead down on top of the piston. Oh, just without scratching something. Eek. Marking. This marker smells in ways that it shouldn't smell. So you're probably wondering why I'm doing this when mechanical timing is non-adjustable on the 4-liter OHV, and that's because in the software it is. So I'm gonna go to key on. Ouch. So I need to take the timing light and shine it on the crank to make sure it's at 20 degrees, and if it's not, that's what I'm gonna use the trigger angle offset over here, plus or minus, to get it on 20 degrees. The same process that I had to do when I first got the MR2 running on the Link standalone. So I've done it once before, but this is a little bit different with the EDIS system. My timing light's broke. It's not working. This has happened before. It's junk. Man. I figured it out. I got it to work. It was the wire was pulled out a little bit. So now, yeah, there we go. All right, so it was about 27 degrees off. 27. Wrong direction. My gun is showing the timing slightly off, but when I advance it inside the software, it starts idling like crap. So it's averaging around 16 AFR and idling super high. So I'm gonna enrich the entire table per the advice of Mr. Oaks. Highlight the whole table under 100 because it's not forced induction. Okay, 6% raised. Now try starting it back up. Here it goes. It did help a little. It dropped it down, but now my idle speed's coming back up pretty high again. That whole table again, 1.02. Add an extra 2% to that. Okay. So that brought it down into the 14s, high 14s, but the idle RPM is like 2,500. Slightly climbing. So this is another 1%, so it's a total of 9% across the whole VE table. It's stabilizing now around 14.2 to 14.4 AFR at idle, so work on the RPMs now at idle. I have the after start enrichment table up and the stuff for cranking because that's also different, the after start enrichment, from what I was doing. It still needs to be a little bit richer on after start enrichment. trigger setting, and that got the timing dead on where it's supposed to be. So that's good now. AFRs are hovering nicely in the middle of the 13s by richening up the VE table just around the idle speed, which is still a little high. It's idling at like 1700, but that's a huge step in the right direction. I think I found the problem. I adjusted the stop screw on the throttle yesterday when I was trying to bring the idle down, which I should not have done because the idle was fine on the old ECU. It should have been all done in the software. So I put it back to where it should be from the factory. So this right now is with the idle air control valve closed. It's idling at about 900. Note to self, when putting an aftermarket ECU on, if it mechanically was fine before, it's probably fine still. It's pretty good. Okay, it's right next to the coolant hose going to the thermostat. You can literally only get like a 1/16 of a turn on this every single time. So the idle AFR is about 13.3, 13.5, 13.3, 13.5. Little rich. And the smell test, oh yeah, does not smell rich at all. Nice and smooth idle. Mission for today complete. Successful idle. It's the following day and the following food cake.
I thought he was a cookie cake.
I don't
That's
even
what I
know
heard
what I
when
am anymore.
that's what I heard when I came in.
Angel and Charlie are here today trying to finish up some little remainder tiny things that were left on the bug that were really kind of just pointless to try to make a video out of. It would have made a whole video. There's a couple more things, then I'll film a car review on it. I want to give a shout out to this channel, OG Ped Xing. He has absolutely the best videos I found on YouTube for basic guide to tuning Mega Squirt. Super in-depth and thorough and just straight to the point. So I'm actually tuning it as I watch the video. It's super helpful that way. Oh. Okay, so that's good. Right where it's at. It fired right up. Alright, so we'll go with that for now. That was a little preemptive of me to do that because if my base VE table is not set, then that's pointless. I'm having to change it again. I started watching the video a little bit further to get to the idle portion, and that's when I realized I gotta do this first. So I could just cut this out of the video, but I want to show you my screw ups, and that was one of them. So I'm gonna enable a test right now for my idle air control valve to see what will actually start to bring my idle down by closing it and opening the valve. Hey, I opened a door so I don't die. Starting to bring the idle up. 74, so it's about 73. So as the truck is idling right now, AFRs are perfect, RPM is perfect, this is a perfect idle. Only problem is, it's in test mode, commanding it to do so. Haven't figured out a way software-wise to actually get the Mega Squirt to command the idle air control valve to keep it like this. Just out of curiosity, let's see what happens when I turn the AC on. Magic. The problem the truck had before on the stock ECU is gone. It's idling perfect right now with the AC on. AFRs are right where they need to be. Charlie figured it out!
I did. After much trials and tribulations and screwing around on a laptop.
Your eye's all red.
I know I have Terminator eye.
Don't ask why I'm wearing my raincoat. It's cold, alright? And I didn't bring a hoodie. Whatever. Anyway, the throttle body on the 4-liter OHV, it works inverted, the way the idle air control valve works. So I had my values inverted. I had the minimum, the lower number, and the maximum, the greater number. It has to be flipped because the values this system sees are inverted. This is making me want fish sticks.
Long John Silver's.
I could go for some. So instead of inverting the values, I just put it back so it's not inverted and then put the values correctly, and that fixed it. All right, so since it's warm, do 1.02. way easier than me getting in and out of the truck. Okay, start. 65.
Burn it, try it again.
Burn. Okay, start up's at 66. Basically right now what we're doing is adjusting the percentage of the idle air control valve being open on initial startup, and it's temperature dependent. Right now the engine's at operating temperature.
We're like incrementally opening that idle air control valve more and more and more until it fires right off.
Welcome to the following day. It's later in the day. I just went and got my hair fixed after the glue bomb almost destroyed it. These distinguished gentlemen have been working on the glove box door for the Beetle for a day and a half because it was that bad. Bonus though, the Beetle is about ready to do the car review on it, and I didn't have to make a boring video on a glove box door for you. You're welcome. Yesterday I left off with the truck idling successfully and almost got the start where I want it. I watched about an hour of videos last night on tuning some more, and I need to readdress the priming pulse. I didn't really touch on that yesterday. Go in here to startup idle, priming pulse. My crap top is gonna die. Extension! I call it a crap top because it's literally the cheapest laptop I could find.
Every day, something weird.
Every day you're hustling.
Yeah, every day I'm struggling with this glove box.
So this priming pulse right here is what happens just after you turn the key and the fuel pump primes. This clears the air from the fuel lines and just puts a little splash of fuel into the cylinders. This is gonna be tricky. How the hell? What I want to do is crank this and see if it requires any fuel. Okay, that was good. That was like fired just like that. So I think I got the priming pulse where I want it and the cranking pulse where I want it. So I'm trying to get this thing to fire like after like 2 cranks, just nice and quick. And when I tested the cranking speed on this, it was between 165 to 185, I believe. So about 100 to 100 and a half higher than that would be around 300. Fuel is the same, keeping the cranking RPM where it's at. Try again. There. I just screwed around for like over an hour with the VE tables, just trying to get different areas, different cells that I could tap just here in the truck by revving it, so the AFR is correct. There is one last area to address until I can say this thing is 100% fixed from the problem it had prior to me doing the standalone, and that would be engaging the air conditioning. Fire this up. Going to turn on the AC idle up feature. On. Okay. AC is on, cycling the compressor. It's actually fairly cold outside right now. Yeah, that's dead on. AFRs are nice and steady with the compressor kicking on and off where it should be. It is freezing in here. That is so cold. It's like in the 50s outside. That's really good. With the AC off, right there, 13.5 for my AFR at normal idle, idling at 700 RPM. I mean, you can hear it. Considering I've never tuned a vehicle before, I would say that's pretty damn good. It's idling way better than it did on the factory ECU. So, problem fixed. I'm happy with that. So if anyone needs an old school Ford technician breakout box for diagnostics, I'm done with mine, no longer need it. Troubleshooting complete. I need to get a real eraser. So the next step would be to work on some tuning while driving the truck around a little bit and work on the rest of the tables. That though is going to be dependent on you guys, whether or not you actually appreciated and liked this video, and if it does well, maybe I'll continue with the tuning process. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon with another. Bye!